Thank you, Jacqueline, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. And I have to tell you, I think it's really, I'm honored to be in this, time of my life where people often turn to me for, for a faith comment or to speak to them about faith and encourage them about faith, because it's, I spent the larger part of my life, not unlike Mona, in secular network television. Television, especially television, it's my drill. I came out of the womb. I was a lot unlike other kids who don't know what they want to do and they figure it out. I came out of the womb and my first words were, I want my own talk show and I intend to produce and create. I've been a creator since I was young. My mom often says, you never had another lane. I didn't. I went to law school. I graduated from law school in the top of my class only so that I could read my entertainment contracts. And I was literally that clear. That's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is, I tell you, get clear about your lane, even if your lane is that you don't exist in a box, because I think we are in a world that loves to put people in boxes. Are you a writer? Are you a producer? Are you an actor? Well, I got to tell you, I've been a creator my whole life. I went through seasons of my, I've always been a writer. I always go back to, I'm a writer because I have to express myself. Therefore, I'm a talker. I need to get a message out. We all have a message in us. And I always say there's glory in each of our stories. And our stories become that much more multi-layered when we submit them to the God of glory. So for me, my faith has always been a part of who I am. So I started in secular television 30 some odd years ago, and kind of got shot out of a cannon, signed right away head of the department at William Morris, who is my friend to this day, through mergers and promotions to becoming the #1 producing, agent at William Morris Endeavor. And he always said to me, and the many mentors in my life, and I had many mentors and of many colors in my life. I grew up in music, in television, and in film. And as someone who always walked through all of it with my faith, what I learned was that no matter how I'm expressing and creating myself, whether it's as a writer, whether it's now today on a pulpit speaking at a church, I'm always going to be myself. And God is always going to ground and influence the way I see things and the way that I think about things. And I think as creators, what we are really called to do is to, the word authentic is so overused to me. It's just overused by the secular world and the Christian world. But in all honesty, authenticity really and truly is understanding that our great commission as believers is to make disciples. And I make disciples everywhere I go, even if it's to a Hollywood party that's full of gay people, because I got a lot of gay people and a lot of Jewish people and a lot of non-believers in my life. That is the world I live in. I think as creators, especially creators with a faith platform, we have to really be authentic and true enough to write about what we know honestly. And part of what Michelle just said resonates so strongly with me, because Fox Network knows that every time it's broke, it goes out and it gets a black show. And that black show refunds the network. And then they're back in again. Tommy Hilfiger did it in fashion. It was the hip hop culture that made the Tommy Hilfiger brand. And then he distanced himself. And when he's broke again, he'll be right back. That's what I always say. So we have proved and proven that we have buying power and money power. As a matter of fact, I think that people of color, specifically African Americans, have proven our power more than Christians have. Because if Christians actually wanted certain kinds of media that spoke to certain kinds of messages, then they would start to put their money where their mouth is and where their cable station is, and they would begin to support our projects. And part of our issue is that we expect that since we're in ministry that you'll do me the favor and do it for free. Don't ask me for anything for free. I do ministry for free. I take missions trips for free. I adopt children all over the world and I raise them for free. My husband and I have educated tons of kids and gotten them through school because we believe in them for free, but don't ask me to work for free. And we have to stop doing that because we don't see God that expects that of us. He expects us, as Kim used the word, excellence. Mona used the word excellence. The Bible says, in beginning, God created. We need to be the greatest creators I know. And I've got to tell you, you guys, I grew up, my mentors have been people like Jerry Lewis, Ed McMahon. Denzel Washington taught me to act by running lines with me. You know, like became, when I was expressing myself through a season of artwork, he became my first patron, sent over his art dealer, and she started looking at these paintings and going, oh, you're an incredible self-taught expressionist. I said, I paint words on canvas. I gotta talk. That's me. I gotta talk. Whether I'm writing a script, I've sold scripts to ABC Network, hour dramedies, half an hours. You know, they haven't, some of them didn't get to the screen. Some of them got into various stages of development. Lee Daniels was the first person to start looking at my film scripts and putting me into development deals. Part of this journey is about perseverance, and it's about faith, but it's about being true and truthful. There were certain deals I walked away from because one of the things I learned is that inside God's will, there is no failure. Outside God's will, there's no success. So if you're spending your time on a project that you just have no real God affirmation about, there's nothing truthful or authentic about who you're supposed to be and the life you're supposed to be living as a believer, then you probably need to find another project, and don't call it a Christian project. You know, but if you're spending your time on something that you're passionate about, then it doesn't matter how many no's you get. You're going to keep perfecting it. You're going to keep rewriting it. I mean, you guys, I started out as talent, as an actress, but because I had the gift of gab, I got really channeled at William Morris into doing talk shows, got shot out of a cannon, became the first Black woman to ever be given a late night show in network. So I found myself, after years with MTV and VH1, hosting a network late night show behind Leno and Conan O'Brien. And then, but I kept saying, you guys, I'm a writer though. I'm a writer. My friend is a longtime actor by the name of Orlando Jones, and he kept saying, girl, you can write. Make them let you write. Keep yourself from getting stuck in a box, because writers are always important, because you will always be writing and producing the creative desire of your life. Always. You can't wait for other people in the delivery room in the 9th hour when you have to push the baby into the world. You've got to believe it. You have to have workshopped it. You have to have taken advice. Getting on webinars like this and listening to other women who do the various things that are responsible for you getting that dream you're trying to birth into the world is really critical. I'm listening to Beverly Holloway. I can't tell you how many auditions I've gone on as quote unquote talent in my lifetime. And she's right. Casting has changed. Figure out how do you know what I tell, one of my greatest things is that I get to encourage young people. Kim said service. Christians don't like to accept the fact that we are supposed to be serving each other, because we are supposed to be serving the Lord, because we are servants. Get over yourself. Serve. Get the mop. Clean the toilet. And if you don't want your service involved in ministry and changing poopy diapers, you should get out of ministry. So that said, my greatest gift is blowing under the wings of young women. I tell these young women all the time, I have actresses, singers, young writers, young producers. Okay, look, ask questions, get feedback, get it torn up, get it ripped apart, go back to the drawing board. Because the most talented people that I know, from the Denzel Washingtons to my brother, Lenny Kravitz, who's no slouch when it comes to talent, Lawrence Fishburne, Bette Midler, like I can run the gamut of talent that has been a part of my life as friend and mentor. Tear up your product. Don't be afraid. This just because we're Christians doesn't mean we should say to you, keep praying about that. Or, do it again this way. No, I want to always tell you, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Go back to the drawing board and make it right. We got to not be so sensitive. Michelle said it. Offense doesn't exist in our Christian walk. I don't have time to be offended with any of you women. I want you to look at my projects and say, that's not as good as it can be. That performance wasn't everything it needs to be. Because I, for one, don't want to see any more subpar Christian projects.